YouTubers, welcome back for another adventure. So we're putting together this ATC200M, and you can see it's missing a recoil starter. And you kind of want to put it on there because as you're fishing around with your foot here, you could end up getting wounded. So let's go through that. For anybody who's bought a recoil starter lately, you know that they're expensive. You're looking at a $40 eBay recoil starter. Well, 40. It was buy it now for 40, and then by the time I get done with shipping and tax, it made it up to just under 60, 57, I believe. So it came with the cord, which is a good thing. And if you take it apart, you get the bolt, which is necessary, the plate. I call this the wiper. It's the thing that, you know, pushes this out. This obviously needs to be loosened up. Right, it came with the spring, the cap that goes on the spring, and there's another little piece here that goes over the bolt. A shim. So it came with just about everything. I believe it's missing the spring because it doesn't wind itself up. Yeah, it's missing the spring. You know, I could tell as I was turning it, it didn't wind itself up. I would, before you buy these, right, just helter-skelter, you really want to take a moment to look at the pictures closely and make sure you get as many pieces and parts as possible. You can't get all these pieces. So anyway, call this 60. This was another 25, and it came with a rope that I don't need. Came with the T-handle that I do need for a different one. Came with the spring. It's also, I call those butterfly wings, bat wings, that other spring, and the dogs and the outside cover. This stuff goes on a 200S, the deeper style, the 3 dog. This is a single dog, right? The 3 dog style recoil starters. So anyway, let's get the spring out and hook it up. Do be careful, by the way, when you take that wire off. This is going to uncoil. Some of these springs are sharp. They use a very thin material. This one here isn't bad. As a matter of fact, I would say for an aftermarket spring, this is really a very nice spring. I did not take the retaining wire off the spring. Push it on. Be careful once again as you're doing this, because without the retaining wire, and if the retaining wire comes off suddenly, the stored energy in that spring could smack you in the face, right? And the spring is quite long. Don't worry, as you're looking down at it with your intent and attention, if that wire gets loose, it'll smack you. Anyway, it's really very nice. This edge, see, one side has a square, which is what this goes into. You also remember, as you're pulling on the string, right, it winds this way. You got to make sure you do it right. The other side has an incline to it, so it's pretty obvious the way it goes. Anyway, now that it's all settled in here, I could cut that wire. Once again, as you're taking it out, be careful with the spring. I got to say that over and over again. You don't want to get smacked in the face. One could also, before you get too far into this, take a minute to clean the case up, right? Cleanliness, godliness, and all that. I'm going to clean it up. I'm not going to spray it. I'm just going to wire brush it real quick. So as you can see, I clean things up, the old wire brush, and I give it a little spray of WD-40 to just kind of arrest the rust and, you know, make it a little smoother. Wipe the outside too. So it actually looks halfway decent now. You can see once again I popped the spring back in. I'm gonna cut the I'm gonna cut that wire, get it out of there. I'm gonna use 2 hands just to make sure the thing doesn't fly out and put another scar on my face. So you put it in, you give it a turn, and it actually sank right down in place here. You can tell because it wants to wind right up. So next we got to put the rope in. Now if you actually took this rope and wrapped it around here, it would go 6 times. So you actually want to put 7 wraps on this to get the tension in. And I'm telling you, because once again, this is going to be a 2-hander. You want to put this in, and you're going to want to put it through that hole right there. Now, about this string, you can actually use a lighter and heat it up, get it so that it's hot with your fingers, and squeeze it into a nice point like that. It's easy to grab with this. While the spring tension's on it too much, you pull the string out too far so you can knot it, and then it'll wind back in. You knot it, you pull it out like you're going to start it gently, and the knot will settle in and life is good. So once again, I wound it such that it's pushing the string out. I put 7 spins on it. I fit the string in, fit it into that little hole, and with these grabbed it and pulled it up, and you can see I have plenty of space to tie a knot that settles right into here. For an $80 starter, this thing's looking better and better. You just put things together 1 piece at a time, right? Not all that hard. Make sure that moves easily. I call this the wiper, right? Just got to make sure it pushes out and pushes back in. It does all those things. Put the cap on it, right? And sometimes you have to wiggle it around a little bit to make sure she settles down. Tighten this up, and life should be almost done. Okay, here we are. You pull the string, and you can see the tongue comes out. Let go of the string, and it retracts. The string goes all the way in. That's kind of important, because if not, if you leave them out in the snow and you have the string hanging like that, it wicks moisture in, and then this fills up with water by the end of the winter. Things you find out the hard way, and that's probably what caused all the corrosion in here. I did lubricate the pulley a little bit, the string pulley. Anyway, time to bolt it up and see if it works. Well, let's see if we can't rope start this thing. Hopefully it's a happy machine. Ignition on, choke on. I got to turn down the idle. That's not too much of a surprise. A lot of times once the motor breaks in a little bit, the idle comes up. Yeah, it seems to be running nice. I got no smoke. It's nice when they string start. I happen to like the 200M motor. I like the chain drive. I like the electric start. Makes it much easier to bench test. So far with this machine, I paid $150 for it. And the recoil starter, what do I have into it? That 60 and another 25, so I have 85 in the recoil starter, which by the way is getting away cheap. Typically recoil starters are $150 or more. So I'm trying to bring this back kind of one step at a time so you guys could see all the joy. Oh, I had to throw a carburetor on it, so I guess that's another 100, well, a full 100 I put into it, so I guess I have 250 into it. This front tire, you guys remember I slimed it. Well, the slime just runs out. As a matter of fact, as you're riding it, it kind of throws slime in your face as the tire spins by, right? I have no front fender, so I went in the house after the donuts and I had snow and the green slime on my eyeglasses. Very very sexy look, you know, very Don Juan, right? Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You'll keep seeing this machine periodically, especially I got to dig up a front tire for it. Some of these older machines have a bigger wheel pattern, so but I'm kind of stuck using that hub and so forth because they go with the forks, right? The back wheels have yet I think yet a different pattern, so I'm gonna have to fish around the hoard. I got like a million tires, and the most common is 22 11/8, but the trick is 22 11/8 on what bolt pattern rim, so it leads to a lot of tires just hanging out. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.